Okay, listen here, guys. The only thing more confusing about the ending to this week's episodes is the fact that Alex's dating timeline is all over the place. All right, he started in Chicago. Oh, wait, no, was it Austin? No, definitely Chicago. Then went to Austin, stayed with somebody, didn't stay with somebody. No, definitely stayed with somebody. And then went to, I don't know, Egypt. No, he didn't go to Egypt. But the thing is, it's very confusing. But what's not surprising is that we have a lot to talk about with week 3 of Love is Blind season 10, episodes 10 and 11. Guys, we're getting into wedding mode. And it's exciting for some and not exciting for others. Oh boy. What's going on, you guys? James here with another real recap and review for Love is Blind Season 10 OH. Just kidding, go Hurricanes, Ohio. And we're in week 3. It's episodes 10 and 11, you guys. We are literally days away from weddings, and we actually get to see our very first wedding ceremony at the end of episode 11. Now, this is actually a messier week than I anticipated because I thought it was going to be just kind of straightforward, kind of boring, just waiting to get to the wedding ceremonies. But there was something that happened that made me think, oh, you two deserve each other then. But before we get into all of my thoughts, if it is your first time here at the channel, welcome to Real James, where I love talking about movies, TV, and Love is Blind. So if you do too, you know what to do. Hit the big red button below, subscribe to the channel, tap on that bell, like this video so other Love is Blind fans can see it, and get loud in the comments below and let me know, you guys. Oh man, what was the most surprising element of this week's episodes? I want to say I know exactly what it is, but I can't say that yet because, I mean, guys, I have to give you a spoiler warning, right? Because some of you might not have watched it yet. And if you haven't, please save this video to your watch later list because at this time, y'all, we are getting into spoilers. I've got 2 episodes to talk about and a whole lot of notes to get through. So, alrighty, let's just waste no more time, y'all. And let's get right into episode 10. And it begins with Public Enemy number 1. This episode basically starts where episode 9 left off, which is we're at the pod reunion. It's this mixer at a bar with Chris and his messy self. Yes, he's still looking like a little gremlin, and no, that wasn't a Kodak Black reference. I'm telling you guys, Chris is just like the dude you see on screen and you immediately know things are going sideways and you're annoyed. I couldn't stand him on screen, especially in episode 10, but I also couldn't stand Bree having conversations with him still, because yes, they're still having a conversation. Chris tells Bree, I feel regret. And I'm like, Bree, why are you still entertaining him? It's making me think thoughts, you guys. Maybe Bree loves the attention? Or is she still kind of feeling like she wants round 3 with Chris? Well, I guess she's getting it now. Maybe she wants round 4. Take her all the way home. Chris reveals to Bree that Connor would have went with Emma if he didn't tell Connor that he was moving on from Bree. Okay, listen, I know he's got a little drink in his goblin cup, but the thing is, I want to know what is going on here. He's trying to sow seeds of discourse, and of course Bree talks about this with Connor afterwards, but we're not there yet. I just find it weird, Chris. You're so confident, but like, in all the wrong ways. And that false confidence shows itself again because Chris said, Bree, you're just friends with loser dudes. Wow, trash. Trash.com, bro. Just buy the domain for Chris because this is insane. Like, I know that he's feeling himself. He's got a little drink, and what happened in the bathroom, we just don't know in episode 9. But, wow, to say something like that, I mean, when the guys watch this back at the reunion, it's gonna get spicy. But above all that, Bree is still speaking with him. And I gotta wonder, Bree, what are you doing right now? Oh, I don't know. I just think Bree is she also for the streets? Who knows? But she's not a girl's girl. And if you loved Connor that much, you would have been out of the conversation already. Exit yourself out of the conversation. Chris then continues and says, Bree, I need to know, are you still attracted to me? I'd take you to the 4 seasons. Oh, Chris, please. You're not taking her to the 4 seasons. You're checking in with your Holiday Inn rewards points, okay? You've been there enough times, I'm sure. But you're taking her to a Holiday Inn or a Motel 6. Who knows? But hey, he's got to still afford his CrossFit membership, so he's got to save some pennies somewhere. But it's a weird follow-up comment that Bree makes that made me raise my eyebrows. She then starts adding to this quote-unquote joke. She's calling Chris by his last name. Fusco, I think, is his last name. Yeah, he's I don't know. That sounds like a curse word. I don't know why. But he's like, yeah, room service for Mr. Fusco. And then Chris is like, oh, baby, like, stop it. Are y'all kikiing? Like, what are we doing here? Man, I really hope I use that phrase correctly. I'm trying to be hip. You know what I mean? I'm connected to the youth. Okay. Anyways, all right. So I would figure, okay, this is the end of the conversation, right? Bree's gonna eventually realize, oh, I'm joking about getting room service with someone who's actually talking down about my fiance. But no. Why? Chris says we would have been F buddies, and the F don't stand for faith. I'll tell you that much. Bree, at this point, still being in the conversation, I think makes you an accessory to what it is Chris is trying to sow. And he's only sowing seeds of discourse and infidelity. Oh, I mean, I'll just say it. But then Bree tries to redeem herself and says, I wouldn't go through this with anyone but Connor. Too bad you're also going through with Chris right now. So what's happening, girl? Make up your darn mind. But then Priyanka shows up and gets back into the conversation and says, what's happening here? And I'm like, okay, Priyanka, I'm kind of glad you're maybe showing up, trying to help Bree get out of the conversation. That was my takeaway, at least. But then Chris says, oh, I guess you guys think I'm apparently Andrew Tate. Hey, Chris, why would you compare yourself to that man? I mean, I can understand why. I maybe see some of the similarities here, but you said it, not us. So, I mean, I guess we know what you watch and listen to. I don't know. Bree finally leaves the conversation along with Priyanka, but girl, you spent way too much time with him. So I'm not going to defend Bree. I'm not going to sit here and say her actions are correct. It was just too much. Sorry, you definitely did not do the right thing here. So now let's switch over to a very quick moment between Kevin and Kia, and they're having a conversation, but the girl squad then shows up around them. They were like, hey, okay, what's going on here? This is our girl Kia. Hey, Kevin, how fancy seeing you here. But, well, I'll be honest. This entire time, I felt like it was a very mature conversation. And then Ashley starts to instigate a little bit, and I'm like, what's going on here? You have this energy towards Kevin, but you're not having this energy towards Chris? That's okay. But speaking of Ashley, well, Ashley and Alex have a conversation, and it also includes Priyanka. This is like those 2-on-1 matches, like in the WWE, where you can tell like it was supposed to be 1-on-1, but then another person comes out and it becomes a 2-on-1, and the ref is like, whatever, let's let it go. So yeah, this is a very interesting conversation, because this is where the joke from the intro of this video comes into play. I'm going to be honest, y'all. I have no idea what Alex is doing here. His timeline is so messed up and it's up and down. You would think it's the stock market graph, but what is happening here? The man says, I was in Chicago and then I went to Austin, but hey, I didn't stay in Austin for long. And then Priyanka said, well, no, you were there with this traveling nurse who was on assignment. Ashley said, on assignment? What do you mean? I thought you said you were passing through and you saw her and hooked up. And he's like, well, yeah, but then I stayed with her. And I'm like, homie, do you live anywhere? I'm still side-eyeing Priyanka just a little bit, though, because I have a weird feeling that they were a thing at one point in time, until Priyanka maybe starts to punch down on Alex. But hey, who's complaining here? So Alex explains himself, and it does sound like he's getting very defensive. He also does this thing when he's explaining, like he does it in one breath. He's just speaking like this, and he just continues to go. It's a full run-on sentence, and he doesn't take a pause, and he's saying, I was Austin, I was in Chicago. I'm like, brother, it's okay. Take your time. But man, what a joke of a conversation for this guy. He totally puts himself out there, and Ashley is not happy. And this entire time, I know exactly what Priyanka's doing as she's stirring the pot and sipping on her drinky drink. But Alex is very sketchy. His stories aren't consistent, and the fact that he gets very defensive in this next line was really, it was telling. He says, well, Ashley, I guess I can't even say it. It's so bad. He says, I'll let you know every time I do a certain thing. I can't even say it, it's just so nasty. Nasty. He's trash. Him and Chris, throw him out with everything else. This bar probably has a dumpster. Throw him there, So Alex begins to get snippy with Priyanka, says this feels like a 2-on-1 for sure. And Ashley then, has a 1-on-1 with Alex after Priyanka decides to leave. Ashley says, don't you understand how dumb I look right now? I thought I knew your timeline, and I don't. But Alex says, I don't know how dumb you look because I've explained myself. Girl, just leave his raggedy behind. Just get out of the relationship. But you know what? If she chooses to stay, that's on her. I'm not going to sit here and give any more unsolicited advice. So let's check in with the guys, and to my surprise, Connor daps up Chris. And I'm thinking, bro, what are we doing here? You're dapping up the man who literally just not only trashed you, but said that you're not right for Bree and actually asked your fiance to go to the Four Seasons. What's happening here? What's happening? I mean, honestly, I get it. Connor's probably a soft-hearted dude, doesn't want to start any trouble, but your fiance is being hit on by a dude who just wants to sleep with her and tried the same thing in Cabo. Why? Why are you not just going? I don't know. Yeah. He's better than me. Then Chris makes his way over and sees Jessica and gives her a big ol' hug, to which she was not reciprocating. She was not happy with that hug. However, they do have a one-on-one conversation. So I'm like, okay, maybe this is her being mature about this and just putting a real end note on everything. Or the producers were like, hey, bro, go talk to this dude. He's drunk. It gives us good one-liners. And Chris does provide some content to talk about. He gives her a very creepy smile and says, you look good. Gross, bro. Ugh. Chris says, all right, Jessica, you've never texted me once. And Jessica looks and says, are you absolutely out of your darn mind? Are you kidding me right now? Because, like, you broke up with me. She made the mature decision to leave, but he basically told her, we can't do this anymore because I'm not attracted to you and I'm attracted to my number 2, who is Bree. Like, are you serious? Chris continues to talk to Jessica and says, I think you're very attractive and you have dark features. You didn't think that a few days ago, you bum? Come on, he's so mad that he fumbled the bag, I think. He's like, man, her house is really nice, and I don't know, I'm staying at a Holiday Inn. I mean, no shame, but like, bro, come on. Like, this is weird, man. This is really weird. He says he wants to chill with her, and Jessica says, absolutely not, goodbye. Exits the conversation, and I'm so glad. Man, he could have had unlimited CrossFit memberships for life, you know, because I think Jess has the bag like that, and Chris, well... Chris, you were punching above your weight class here, you know what I mean, with Jessica, and you definitely fumbled it. And good, Jessica, go and live your life without the toxicity of this Chris dude. Now, Jordan is having a conversation with the guys and brings up the fact that he's actually a little worried about meeting Emma. Amber overhears this and gets upset because I'm guessing she felt that Jordan had no reservations about meeting Emma and says, hey, if you want to bail at any point in time, let me know. And I thought at first, oh, bailed from the party. Okay. Oh, no. I think Amber meant bail, like, out of the engagement. Like, dang, Amber. And the reason I know this is because, well, later on we'll talk about it. Amber gives him the silent treatment. Alrighty, so the pod mixer is over and there shouldn't be any more mess, right? Wrong, because we're in the apartment now with Ashley and Alex. They're having a conversation, and Ashley asks Alex, hey, what was your relationship like again with your ex? Alex claims they haven't spoken, and his ex is already in another relationship. This is really giving, at the reunion, we're going to find out that Alex has been texting his ex on the side. I'm just saying. We've seen this before. Ashley then asks Alex, are you happy? And he says, yeah. I'd be happy if we go to Nevada and then maybe Arizona, Florida for a little bit, then the North Pole, see where Santa's hanging out. Come on. This dude ain't happy, but he's just coasting through it. Ashley says, alrighty, I'm fine now. And then she starts smiling, and then Alex is like, he says the most romantic thing, honestly. He says, you want McDonald's? Do I want McDonald's? Bro, you actually better go to the Four Seasons, bro, and get us a room. Because, like, after the way you treated me and made me look like a fool in front of people at the party, come on. But no, he says you want McDonald's, and Ashley's like, all right, cool, barbecue buffalo, like, you know. So they're acting like nothing happened now. And honestly, Ashley, if this is what you want, you deserve it. Alrighty, so let's get now into Amber and Jordan. So like I just mentioned, Amber is giving Jordan the silent treatment. Jordan is a little upset because he wants to have a conversation and he can't talk about his feelings with Amber. Now, Jordan, listen, you can't really touch on a sensitive subject like that in front of the dudes. I get why Amber's upset. However, not having a conversation and not even communicating about it, that's a little tough on Jordan. So I can understand him being frustrated, but I also understand her side of this too. So we'll revisit them in a little bit, but now let's check in on Connor and Bree. They're also having a conversation in their apartment, and Connor seems very upset. I mean, of course, because Bree is giving him all of the tea, and Connor says, Chris's story about how I came to choose you is totally false. You've always been my number one. Bree says, hey, Chris gives me the ick too. Well, clearly not enough of an ick because you had a conversation with him. You entertained him on 2 separate occasions at the pod mixer. So, Bree, I ain't buying it. Then during their conversation, we hear Bree's phone go off, and Chris apparently sent her a message on disappearing mode and said, are you in GV or whatever? Grand Valley, I think? Something like that. I think that's what it means. And I'm thinking this whole time, girl, you haven't blocked him yet? You haven't blocked him on all socials, blocked his number and everything? Oh, you want a round 4, don't you? Yes, you do. But Connor says, I trust you 100%, Bree. Too bad it's probably not reciprocated. Alrighty, so it's 10 days before weddings, and you just know they have a production budget this year, at least for the music. Remember we told you in week 1 when I was talking about the music choices, Ed Sheeran, U2, and now we've got Olivia Dean. Heck yeah, Olivia Dean. You know, it's a good song. Talk to me. Y'all know that song? I'm not going to sing anymore. Okay, so we check in on Vic and Christine. Again, our golden couple this season. Quite possibly the only couple that's getting married at the altar. Vic and Christine are picking out flowers for their wedding, and it's very sweet. And honestly, I really hope they just get married because both of them said they have no fears about getting married together. Well, okay, let's go from one couple that's 99% likely to get married at the altar to another one who is, maybe? Well, it's kind of cute, right? Emma and Mike are planning their wedding like they're going to get to the reception. That's sweet. I mean, if they do, okay, but I don't see it. That was literally the only note I had for their moment. Let's get into Devontae and Brittany. Well, Devontae is visiting Brittany's home. Remember, we haven't seen Brittany's house yet. At least I don't think we did. No, we definitely didn't. Because I would have known they went to the basement and she has a whole like lash bar and stuff. And I'm like, oh, wow. A little entrepreneur, Brittany. It is kind of neat, though. I mean, she's got a big house, it seems. My goodness. Brittany reveals that she's got a very nice and affordable mortgage payment with bills per month. And Devontae is like, oh, you only pay like $1,900 a month? My previous home, I paid like $100,000 a month. Okay, he didn't say that, but he did say somewhere close to $6,000 a month. $6,000 a month? You got good credit, bro? Devontae continues to talk about his job, and he says, well, one month I could make $10 and another month I could make $40,000. Maybe it wasn't $10, but he did mention making a lot of money. He's definitely in sales, right? So sales, it's a very volatile industry. And yeah, I mean, hey, if you like it, I love it, bro, but I need more stability than that. When Brittany says, I'm excited to share bills and have a joint account, Devontae starts laughing. But it wasn't like, oh my gosh, of course, I am too. He says, a joint account, share bills. I thought you were gonna pay. No, he doesn't say that last part. But still. Alrighty, next up, we're revisiting Bree and Connor because they're going to meet Bree's dad. I'm so excited to see this unfold and just every conversation on screen. What? Oh, okay. Maybe I was lying a little bit there. We don't see that meeting at all, okay? They do like have a road trip montage segment where it sounds like they're on the road for 10 days. But man, they're driving all the way to meet Bree's dad, and we see 2 photographs just so the audience knows they actually did meet. And it made me think, was it a bad family meeting? Was Connor getting grilled? Maybe that's why they didn't want to air it. Or maybe Bree's dad just didn't want to be on TV. But I'm leaning towards the former, not the latter. Alrighty, so let's get back to Amber and Jordan. Amber's still giving Jordan the silent treatment, like, girl, use your words, please. But Jordan asks Amber when she comes home, how's your day going? And then Amber says, well, actually, I need a drink. Hey, your fiance's in the room with you, if you didn't know. So I don't really think that they're going to last too long, to be honest with you. But Amber said, listen, Jordan, be straight up with me. When you were like feeling a type of way maybe about the situation, just come and talk to me. But instead you went and talked to Vic about this. So I get it. Yes, Jordan should have maybe kept that for a conversation at home with Amber. But like everyone's kind of talking about their stuff at this mixer. Jordan then says, I need to absolutely meet Emma before we get married. And that's valid. We've seen this before in Love is Blind, right? Where one person says, well, I've got a kid and I don't want you to meet them yet. And the other person's like, well, that's not going to work. So they get to the altar and they say no. But Amber said, hey, the reason you haven't met her yet is because it's hard for me to trust a man. And you haven't really proven yourself yet. So I know Jordan's like, you know what? I'm so upset. I'm about to go in on this pizza. Man eats a lot of pizza this week. However, at the end of the conversation, it's like they sort of resolved their argument, I guess. Yeah, they eventually put a date on when Jordan's going to meet Emma. But still, it was a really weird conversation. Amber basically said, hey, I still don't know if you're trash or not, to his face. And that's crazy. Alrighty, y'all. Well, it's 7 days until weddings, and you know what time it is. Tux fitting and wedding dress shopping. Except for Brittany, because she's already got her dress. She was proactive. At the tux fitting, I got some notes for the guys. Connor says, listen, I'm never going to talk to Chris again. Good. Although at the reunion, I do hope you kind of have something in the chamber for him. You know what I mean? Connor basically says, oh, this man thought he'd steal Bree from me? And I quote, he says, buddy, you're 5'6". Oh, man. Connor is ready. This reunion is going to be crazy. Vic is the first one to walk out with their tuxedo, and, well, he's walking out with a white tux blazer top, and all I gotta say is, producers, y'all did this man dirty. He was the only one of the guys that walked out, except for Jordan, that looked kind of, like, disheveled, and it's not supposed to be fitted yet, I get it, but, like, why didn't they let that man walk out with, like, a bow tie or a tie? Mike then comes out, and, well, he looks like a New Jersey Italian James Bond. Seriously, he looks spiffy, it's just he's given New Jersey Italian, and he's in Ohio. Alex then walks out and says, well, you know what? I bring a level of confidence. Yeah, and you know what? I immediately said, shut up. Like, this guy is so full of himself. My goodness, first figure out where you want to live, bro, and then come to us with this whole confidence talk. And then Jordan walks out in arguably the absolute worst tuxedo or suit reveal we've ever seen. I'm not going to hold y'all. It's not even a wedding suit or a tuxedo. I don't know what it is. The man's got a blue blazer on? Come on. And then he walks out again, and I'm like, okay, it's better, but like, what is this, cocktail hour? It's your wedding, dude. Okay, so let's check in on the ladies, and they're going for their wedding dresses. They got their family and their friends, and this is where Brittany's mom and Brittany reveal. We already got a dress, y'all. We'll show it off, but we're not picking nothing. We got it. Okay, cool. All right, well, Christine walks out first, technically, and she does not love that first dress, and I'm not gonna lie, it is not a great first dress, so I'm glad she doesn't like it either. Christine's second dress, not very good either. Oh boy, okay, all right, well, hey, third time's a charm. Christine said her third dress is nice, but it doesn't really, I don't know if I love the top. They put a veil on and she loves it at that point, but it wasn't giving wedding to me. I don't know. It's fine. You like it? I love it, I guess. Okay. So moving on to Emma's dress. It's next. And I thought it was really nice, actually. It looked pretty darn good. It seemed like this one was the winner. So she stays with it. But, I mean, you and Mike still got to figure this out because y'all make it to the altar in this. Nice dress, but nice outcome? We'll see. Brittany comes up next with the dress she's already purchased, and it's very nice. I do think Emma's, at this point, is still in first place. But Brittany's like runner-up. Right? And Brittany's mom then drops this, and I didn't know that this was even a conversation they had. Brittany's mom says, Devontae checks every box for you. Really, Brittany? He does? Bree's up next, and I'm already kind of frustrated with her at this point, but let me be as objective as possible. Connor's mom and Bree's mom's there. They're having a good old time. You know, they're both crying, happy tears. And Bree's first dress, she comes out, also not giving wedding. Like, what is it with the choices this season? I'm not a wedding dress expert, but like, mamma mia. She's not feeling it. So, well, I guess something must have sparked in her brain where she's like, I'm not feeling this dress, but maybe I don't need glitter and sparkles. And then she just goes with it. But like, I don't know, last place dress so far, for sure. Ashley's dress is next, and the first time she says, absolutely not. That was the right call, for sure. Now, the next dress is very straightforward, simplistic, but it does not look terrible. And I thought the train looked nice and the veil looked good, everything put together. I thought it was a pretty solid dress. I won't lie to you guys. It looked nice. And then Amber shows up next, and it is definitely sparkly. Sparkle Megan would for sure be proud because that thing was like on my TV. I don't love it, but maybe she does. She did say that she picked it because Emma wants to see floral designs and sparkly designs. Okay. That's cute. Sentimental points for you, Amber. And she goes with that dress. So my final dress rankings, as we do every season. In last place is Bree. And then right above her is Amber. Then Christine, Ashley, Brittany's runner-up. And in first place is Emma. Yeah, Emma's dress was probably the nicest. So it's time for episode 11, and surprisingly, we had a really nice cliffhanger to episode 10. But it's 4 days until weddings, and don't worry, we go from sweet to sour real fast. And before we get there, Bree and Connor go on their final date before their wedding. It's on a train, and it's private, so it's pretty sweet. Also different for Love is Blind. We've never got a train date before, but Netflix has Train Dreams streaming with, maybe a subtle tie-in, who knows. But it does seem like Bree's dad was very tough with Connor, which is probably why we didn't see none of that footage. But Bree keeps bringing up something that sort of surfaces throughout this episode. She says, "I'm not myself right now. I'm not at my best self, and it's kind of crazy that you're falling in love with me." I get it. We go through seasons of life. Yes, your partner, your life partner, should be there with you in the mountaintop seasons and in the valley seasons. Because I know the Lord's there with me, so, your partner can at least do that for you. You know what I mean? But she keeps bringing that up, and it's a bit of a yellow flag. Connor reassures her, "I'm falling in love with you more every single day." And the whole time I'm thinking, Bree, are you feeling the same way, girl? Because you are saying nothing to that effect. You're not even saying thank you. I'm a little skeptical here. So the next final date is Emma and Mike, and they go on a zoo date to the Columbus Zoo. I mean, this season's felt as chaotic as a zoo, I'll tell you that much. But they were seeing giraffes, feeding giraffes, a cute little outdoor lunch/dinner, and they're talking about, smelling like giraffes and being wacky on their anniversary. And I'm thinking the whole time, can you get to the kids topic? You need to settle on that first. Emma says, "I've been thinking about having kids with you, Mike, and that you're 100% the right partner." But she's not committing. She says, "I'm definitely open-minded more now than I was before." Well, she's not committing to kids. So I know Mike is like, "What the heck, bro? Can you pick a side here?" Then as she's speaking with Mike about this serious topic, she gets distracted and says, "I'm sorry, the giraffes are talking." No, girl, you and your fiance are talking about something very serious. And I know Mike was probably peeved at that, but she's not serious. This is not a serious conversation. Are you kidding me? The third final date is Brittany and Devontae, and they're having a nice little cabin date until we get to the hot tub, and you realize that Brittany's on one side and Devontae's on the other side. "Hey, Devontae, remember when you're like, I'm going to work on meeting you at your love languages and stuff?" And Brittany is very much a physical touch person, and you're on the other side of the hot tub again? This boy don't like her. Devontae says in his testimonial that he's very worried about the wedding ceremony. And he tells Brittany in person that he needs a day before the wedding where he's not online and not reachable. Oh, you're not reachable, huh? Oh, I have a funny feeling they're about to get into this wedding prep for Devontae and Brittany's wedding day. And Brittany's like, "I haven't heard from this man in 48 hours. Devontae says, "I heard you, Brittany, tell the other women at dress fitting that you don't kiss me or we don't kiss enough." That's what Devontae says that he heard, is that she was kind of speaking negative about him, and it made him very upset. But hey, if this keeps coming up, Devontae, and you don't want to be talked about negatively, maybe just meet her where she wants to be met. Do you know what I mean? And if you can't do that, y'all should have been done already. But you know what's going to happen. They're going to probably get to the altar, y'all. And then Devontae says, okay, that's not the only thing I wanted to talk about. Prenup. He just, prenup. Throws that out there. And Brittany said, "Excuse me, when did this come up? When were you thinking about this?" This is a conversation that should have been had in the pods. And that's the issue about not getting deep in the pods. And even when you're in Cabo, right? You're on the surface level. Physicality, looks, and do you like, I don't know, playing basketball? Something like that. But you got to talk about serious things like children, family structure, prenuptial agreements. Are you for them or against them? And Brittany is definitely against them because she feels like, oh boy, is this just an out for you? So I do think that Brittany needs to leave this man. I think it's sweet that they prayed to end the conversation, but I feel Brittany is still not okay with Devontae dropping that bomb on her. So yeah, I don't know about them, y'all. I really don't. So let's move on to Amber and Jordan, check in on their final date, and they go to a place called Otherworld, which is Amber's daughter Emma's favorite place in the world. So she wanted to come, but Amber said, no, we're going to meet officially not at this crazy place. It's Nightmare Fuel, the amusement park. That's what it feels like. What in the world is going on at this amusement park or playpen or whatever the heck it is? It's kind of crazy. But then producers decided to have them kiss in the middle of a room and have a really dramatic wraparound shot. I was thinking, like, are we in the middle of a 2000s rom-com? What is going on here? Well, they have a little meal or they're talking and stuff, and Jordan says, I have no reservations about our wedding because I'm meeting your daughter this weekend. I'm like, oh, that's kind of sweet. We probably won't see that meeting because it's a child, so hey, All right, let's check in on Ashley and Alex, my least favorite couple. Yep, they're at the cabin, and Alex walks Ashley in, blindfolded her, told her to take the blindfolds off, and then says, voila, look at what I did. Bro, you didn't do none of that, okay? Producers did that for you. That was not in your idea. If it was up to you, bro, you would have had this little date in another state. Ashley asks Alex about the goals they have for their marriage, and he says, travel outside of the country. Hey, Alex, it's probably healthy for you to want to lay down roots somewhere too, but this man wants to just travel everywhere. He doesn't want to stay in one place. Ashley then asks Alex another question and says, yo, do you have any sort of questions for me before we get married? And Alex is struggling, and he just asks about her dress. And I know Ashley's like, can we go deeper? Okay. So I think he's absolutely checked out. And Ashley then says jokingly that, hey, my friends hate Alex, but I actually think they do. No, they definitely do, right? That wasn't just a joke. That was a serious thing. So it's an uninspired conversation for all intents and purposes, and I feel like they're in two different rooms while being in the same room together. It's just, they ain't working out, y'all. They are not working out. All right, the final date is Vic and Christine. They have a spa date. They're looking relaxed. They're looking ready. They're going with the Lord. I love it. It's so beautiful. They exchange awesome words of encouragement. They meet each other where they're at. I love you. I love you too. I love you so deeply. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. Number one couple, for sure. So it's 2 days until weddings, y'all, and here's the mess. Yup, Bree and Connor, sayonara. Bree says again, Connor, you're not getting the best of me right now. And the whole time Connor is sitting with his arms crossed like, girl, why do you keep saying this? She needs therapy 100%. I just feel like she's trying to get Connor to step away from this relationship. But Connor does what Connor does. He reassures Bree and says, listen, Bree, I love you, no doubt in my mind. I'm here for you in every season. And Bree says, I don't know. Let me self-sabotage some more, and pulls out a random fact and said, when we got to your house, I saw your car and I saw your home, and I thought, does this man take pride in anything? Whoa, bro, that is a crazy line to drop. So because he ain't driving a Benz or a Beamer, you're gonna judge him based on pride? What if the man is saving, which he says he is, for a future family? What is happening here, Bree? What is happening?
So because Connor doesn't have a Beamer, Benz, or Bentley.
Well, apparently he's got no hustle. So this is bad. And then she drops this line, is he going to be a liability? And this is like her postulating in her mind whether or not Connor is going to show up for her and their family because he doesn't have materialistic items she thinks are high value. Crazy, Bree. Then Bree says, I'm not ready to walk down the aisle, and says it would be a no for me if it were to happen today. Whoa, girl. Okay. Well, I guess you can go be with your little leprechaun buddy Chris now. Go to the Four Seasons. And it's not going to be the Four Seasons. He's just lying to you. So Connor and Bree sit down. They move their way to the couch. And Connor says, man, this really hurts. So it sounds like they're still trying to figure out if they could work it out. But they're, for all intents and purposes, breaking up. And they will not be getting married this season. Whoa. So it's 1 day until weddings, so it's time for the bachelorette and bachelor parties. And in true Ohio fashion, the guys are going to Monster Jam with Gravedigger. Monster Jam, one night only. Y'all remember those commercials? Come on, I can't be the only one. But dude, this looked like total bro behavior. Well, sort of. But I'm not gonna lie, I was never into monster trucks like that. I had a friend growing up, and I kind of thought I was for about a week. And then I went to a show, and after that, I'm like, yeah, I kind of don't care about this. Maybe this isn't for me. But yeah, they were drinking, eating, and then there was a toast moment, and they were like, to love, to this, to family, and someone said to marriage, and then used the Lord's name in vain, and Vic repeated it. Vic, no, the only time I'm going to give you a knock this season is you using the Lord's name in vain. Brother, no, why? When he said that, I was like, I had to make sure it was him, and it was. Ah, man. So let's check in with our lucky ladies. They're at a casino, and the poker chips have their fiancés' faces on them. And that's about it. Yeah, seriously, there was no other takeaway there. All right, time for our first wedding day, y'all, for this season, and that's Emma and Mike's wedding day. Woohoo! No giraffes were present, I promise. Emma explains that she's in her head right now, and I think it's because she's about to say no. Mike's dad then walks in with his wife to meet their son, and I'm telling you, he looks like an extra from The Sopranos. Mike's mom says, "I'm concerned about you, honey," and they really don't sound confident in any of this. Mike reveals in his testimonial, though, that he's still concerned with that big question mark as well over his head and Emma's head, where I don't know if she really wants kids. But like, dude, yes, that's a huge question mark. How are they even going to the altar right now? So they get there. They're walking down, and Mike is exchanging vows with Emma and vice versa, but Mike gives vows first, and immediately the mess happens. The edit was really funny. So he goes and he begins to give his vows, and he says, "I just need to know, whether you want to start a family with me, and, sorry, you got to make that decision today, but..." And then everyone goes quiet. I mean, they were already quiet, but the music cuts. I thought it was really funny. So hilarious edit there. But then I guess I thought, okay, it's maybe less of a question, but more of a statement. So she doesn't answer that question, but whether she says yes or no might lead to that for him in his mind. Mental gymnastics, bro. So Emma is asked by the officiant, "Do you say yes to this man forever? Sight unseen," so on and so forth. And Emma takes her time and says, "I can't. Doom, 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 doom. Imagine my life without you." Yes. To my complete surprise, Emma says yes. Oh my goodness, I thought Mike was going to say yes. They go to Emma and she says no. But we do get a cliffhanger ending because the officiant looks to Mike and says, "Do you say yes to, bro?" And he's like, "Mamma mia, I have a decision to make." And he doesn't give an answer because it's a cliffhanger ending, y'all. That is the end of episode 11. We got to wait next week for the finale, which of course I'm covering. So get subscribed to the channel, y'all, and like this video if you've enjoyed this and you've been rocking with me this season. Thanks for sticking with me. This has been quite a week of Love is Blind. Went from being like, is this going to be good, to, oh, this is going to be good. I've had fun. Alrighty, y'all. Well, again, thanks so much for watching. God bless you guys, and I'll catch you at the next screening. But we ain't catching Bree and Connor at the next screening. Oh my gosh.